Hey there, world. Today we're going to be going through a little video here of my Toyota Grand Highlander Hybrid Max. I'm going to be kind of going over pros and cons, things that I think I would have wanted to know prior to buying this vehicle that I didn't know. But overall, I just want to kind of go over the interior, exterior, engine compartment, and ride quality, things like that. Just from an average dude, I'm not a car review guy or anything like that. I'm a dude who's trying to make some music and make ends meet. And I have a family, and that's largely why I bought this vehicle. I traded in, believe it or not, a GLE 450 for this thing. It was about 2 years old. And was it the best choice? Who knows? But we're overall satisfied, or maybe we're not. I guess you'll see at the end. Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the exterior of this vehicle, okay? There's plenty of reviews out there that you can see, people reviewing little features like the mirrors fold in and things like that. All right, my opinion, it's a pretty nice looking SUV. I like the way it looks. It's basically a big RAV4 kind of style. One thing I'm going to note to you though is the hood. So I don't know if you can see this thing flexing. Okay. But when you're driving down the road 60 miles per hour, you can kind of see the hood vibrating. And to me, that is pretty jinky. All right. I don't think it's kind of weak, and I don't know if that's kind of common in Toyotas and other vehicles in this class, but I know I can't even remember the last time I drove a vehicle and I saw that. It reminds me of some old vehicle. Is it terribly bothersome? No. I mean, after a while I don't really notice it, but when I see it, it's just irritating. So anyway, you decide if that's a problem for you. So the first thing I want to start with, and this is something I really wish I would have known about prior to buying this vehicle, is the fuel capacity. You see how it says we're empty to refuel? So last night at about 1,566 miles, 1,566 miles, I went to empty. Okay, so I've been driving it already another technically 10 miles. And what you want to know about this is that okay, I'm going to turn the car off. I just wanted you to see that. So what I would have wanted to know is that Toyota is advertising 17.2 gallons of fuel capacity. When this thing gets to about empty, as I found out on a road trip, and I had about maybe a quarter of one of those notches left near empty. And when I got there, and I filled it up, I was only able to fill about 9 gallons. And I thought that was kind of strange. So I started looking a little further. Turns out a lot of people are having this problem with the hybrid. And the bottom line is, for whatever reason, and I don't know, there's multiple theories out there, Toyota has kind of screwed up here. Because it's supposed to get about 460 miles range with that 17.2 gallons fuel capacity. And if I'm only able to fill it up about 10 gallons, well, you can do the math here. So most range I've got from the display is about 370 miles. Okay, just driving around, road trip conservatively. And anyway, so that is a foul. And so anyway, one of the things I found online was that run it past empty and, about maybe 50, 75 miles. And you'll see that you actually do have more fuel capacity than what's shown on the gauge. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm testing this out. I actually have a fuel can over there. As you can see, I got some spare gas just in case, because I don't want to be caught without gas. And many people are saying that, hey, you got to be careful because you have to make sure that there's enough fuel in there for the hybrid system. So you got to keep at least a couple gallons, supposedly about 2.5 gallons. Well, if I'm only getting 10 gallons on empty, So I figure I can run another 75 miles before I need to start filling it up. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. So, all right, so let's get on to the interior. So again, plenty of videos out there to go over the interior. I'm not gonna get too crazy into it. I'm gonna go on the things that annoy me, all right? So first of all, I just found this out today, which is pretty annoying. And it's the same on the passenger side. You see how that's right there just pops out? And it just pops out on its own. I popped it back in, but that's kind of, again, another kind of cheap, jinky thing. And it does the same thing on the passenger side. The materials, you know, there is a lot of kind of plastic stuff here. This is whatever, you know, vinyl, faux leather material, which is fine. The plastic stuff is annoying, especially it's black colored, because it gets a lot of kind of scuffs and stuff on it. We were at the dealership. They just happened to have this one on lot, and we, you know, kind of seriously considered what are we going to do. Wasn't my top color choice. It was my wife's top color choice. Interior was not the color choice of either of us, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. I've seen people waiting for well over a year to get a hybrid. So anyway, we just went ahead and did it. But yeah, so that's a little annoying. The seats got this suede-ish stuff and whatever. I don't know if it's leather or faux leather on the seats, but they're fine. They're very comfortable, actually. They get kind of course, with the black too, you see every little spot. It's annoying, but they're fairly easy to clean, so it's not that bad. Overall, interior-wise, I don't have a lot of knocks. Okay, it's really easy to get in and out of the back seat here. I am 6'1", and I can sit comfortably in the back here, and you can see there's still plenty of leg room up there and up there as well. And you see where my knees are. I'm 6'1". Okay, this seat can come back, so there's a ton of space back here, which and that's why we bought this vehicle. Ultimately, was for the all the features, the technology, the comfort, as well as the space back here for our family. We needed it. And then when you're back here, you know, if you're kind of stuck, they forget about you. All you gotta do is lift this up, and it'll lift the seat up. So lots of storage. I mean, love the storage. There's USB charging ports everywhere. Panoramic roof. You can see outside the window really nicely. Headspace. I've got at least 2-3 inches. Well, at least 2 inches from the top of my head here, just to kind of show. And again, I am 6'1". Got the panoramic. You got the panoramic roof. It's pretty nice. Controls in there. One thing I would have liked is they have like a dash cam thing you can get on the Platinum. I would have, you know, if I would have built one, I probably still would stick with this trim level and just add the dash cam thing, because it has a rear view mirror that actually provides a digital display camera that you can see everything behind you, which is pretty sweet. So that is something I would like to have. If you have the option, definitely would recommend to get that. Another thing that's nice on the interior when you're sitting in the back here is this thing reclines back almost all the way, so you can pretty much just lay down, which my mother-in-law has done a couple times. I think you could get stuck if you had multiple car seats, because as you can see right there, we have a car seat in that chair. So if you were wanting to go into the back here, you would basically have to come over to this side or go through the middle, because, and I'll show you why. You're not going to be able to have this go forward because your seat belt is locked in here for your car seat. So that's kind of a bummer, but just one of the things you have to deal with. Again, tons of storage. I love these. We had these on the Benz too. They were automatic, but these work just fine. Storage. We love these little storage bins up here. The glove box is kind of small, to be honest, but then you get that extra space up there, so It's a bit of a trade-off. I love that there's these 3 basically cup holders, even though that's not technically a cup holder, but we've been using it a lot. You got a lot of space in there. You got some more space here. You got a ton of space inside the center console. You got that beautiful 12.3-inch screen. And just a lot of great technology type of features. Okay, so cargo capacity wise, that was one of the main reasons, you know, we looked at this vehicle, because number one, it was very comfortable. Number two, it had a lot of, basically it had almost every feature that the Benz has, okay, maybe minus a couple, but for the most part it had every feature. So we got, you know, a ton of cargo space in here, and this is with the 3rd row up. You know, I got a few little groceries here, and it's, you know, the camera is not going to be able to display it as well as seeing it in person, but when I fold these seats down, you can see it in other videos, plenty of other videos that they have. There is just a ton of space to do storage when you're on road trips and stuff. We've already taken out 2 road trips. Drives really nicely, handles really nicely. We enjoyed it. But there's a couple things you want to know about that too. All right, so I'm back in the interior. I have the engine, the car is on. All right, we got our fuel low, as I mentioned, because the whole capacity thing I'm trying to figure out. But we got this 12.3-inch screen. It's pretty nice. It's very user-friendly. I would say everything in here is user-friendly. One thing that I would have liked to known, again, it's not necessarily a deal killer for us, but it is annoying, is for the life of me, if there is a way to close these center vents, I have not figured it out. The side vents on the passenger side and the driver's side, they do close all the way, as you can see. But these center ones, they don't close. Toyota, what happened here? I've never been in a vehicle that was not possible. So other than that, we got this panoramic, you know, sunroof, moonroof, whatever you want to say. Lots of controls here. It's pretty bright when you turn on all the lights. I would have liked to seen come out here, so when you know, push it over here, you can just a little bit, you know, when that sun's coming in, it's not a big, you know, I would like to see it extend far enough to get the sun out of your eye when it's coming from the side. This stuff is all intuitive. I like that, you know, volume controls. You know, you're probably never going to use this knob, or if you do, it's not going to be often, because you got your volume controls on your steering wheel here, which are sufficient. And then pretty much everything, I would say a lot of the things that you need are going to be able to be controlled from the steering wheel, which is nice. But if you need to control from here, of course, these knobs make it very easy. This does tend to get a lot of fingerprints. I just carry around a little microfiber cloth and clean it up once in a while. You got your charging station, which works very well. Haven't had any problems with it. It is, to me, it seems a little slow, but for the most part, it works pretty well, and it picks up your phone pretty easily. You got your heated and cooled seats here in the front and possibly the rear. I don't even know. I think there's heated seats in the rear, but I don't know if they're ventilated or not. I can't remember. And your rear climate control is pretty nice. You can just click that and you can shift to control the climate in the rear. You got tons of, you know, USB chargers. You got one there, you got one there. So plenty, and then you know, a lot of those in the back. You got 2 110, I guess regular, you know, outlets you could use to plug in things such as an air compressor, which the steering wheel is pretty nice. This, I think, is kind of useless. I don't understand this. It's just a little dust collector, but it's fine. I would actually prefer it to be open so I can put my thumb here through it. One thing this has that the Mercedes-Benz does not have is a sunglass holder. I don't know why, after all these years, they just do not want to put a sunglasses holder in these Mercedes-Benzes. But anyway, this is not a Benz, this is a Toyota. And I think for the most part, you know, there's some nice soft touches you'll see in, you know, people's reviews, you know, but this is plastic up here. For the most part, interior-wise, I am very comfortable. I would have liked to seen an extender on the seat here, like the Benz had, But honestly, I don't notice it at all. The seat is very comfortable. I'm able to find a comfortable position right away. And so, that's fine. It doesn't have memory on the passenger side, which is kind of weak. It does have power seats, but there's no memory over there. So I think that's kind of lame. I think they should have had that. The stereo system, the JBL stereo system, is pretty nice. Okay, is it the Benz Burmeister sound system? No, but it's pretty nice. The only knock I'm going to give you, Toyota, on this is that when you start cranking it up and you got some bass going, there's some rattling going on in this vehicle. All right, which is pretty annoying when you're listening to one of your jams, and you just hear this kind of rattling noise. And the other thing I'm going to say about interior wise, that got a little storage here, which I think is kind of cool. Okay, another thing that I like but also can be annoyed by is the camera view. So I'm gonna press that. When I'm in a stop position, it just does this. All right, fine. It's kind of cool, but you can't, you change it and it goes back to that. Now, if I put it in drive, it does show you a different view. And if I go reverse, of course, it gives you a reverse view with the overhead. And you can actually choose the color of your vehicle in the camera view. So that's kind of fun, I guess. Yeah, look at that. We got a little warning, somebody's behind. But it's just a little annoyance. It's not even, it's probably my own thing. I would have done it slightly differently. But for the most part, the camera feature is pretty well. And there's also a thing when you're backing up, it'll show you like a view, through the vehicle. Watch, you see. So you can see actually what's underneath you, which is kind of cool. As far as this camera goes, one other thing is these little blocks here, I don't understand them, but they will start to turn red. Actually, the car will stop on you if you get too close, I've noticed, when it gets red. So anyway, I'm just gonna put it into park. Speaking of that, so this shifter is a little different than your normal shifter. I got used to it right away. It was pretty easy. You just put it to the left for neutral, and then go forward for reverse, and then go back for drive, and then just press P for park. Again, I got used to it right away, so did my wife, so it's not really a big deal. All right, so I just want to cover one more thing, and it has to do with ride quality, I guess, or when you're driving the vehicle. That is a little bit annoying. When you're taking off from a stop position or a slower position, I've noticed the shifting is pretty, I would say, jerky or glitchy. Almost feels like it's just not shifting very well, and so that's kind of annoying. So you almost have to watch it. And it doesn't happen all the time, but I would say it's happening most of the time from a stop position, and when you're getting out into traffic and you want to gun it if you need to. So that is a little annoying. And the other thing is, one thing I kind of noticed when I was going up a fairly heavy grade, going up a hill, is this engine definitely, that whole 362 horsepower, 400 pound torque situation kind of goes out the water with that, because I think a lot of it relies on the electric system, the battery system, to provide a lot of that power. And when you're going up a hill, if it's any significant hill for a while, that's not going to last that long. So it did feel like, wow, the horses were really moving their feet to get up the hill. Like you could really hear it, and I'm gonna say one more thing on the driving thing. So another thing that I don't really love about it is the braking. Okay, the brakes work, of course, but I feel like when you're you're driving at any significant speed and you're starting to slow down and you want to stop, the braking could be better, because you will slow down and you'll get to a point where you almost have to press the brakes, you know, all the way in to get to where you want to stop, like ahead of time. You know, it's not quite as responsive as I think it should be. So you just have to be aware of it when you're driving the vehicle, and you'll get used to it again. But to me, the braking system or the brakes, whatever, overall could use some work. And that's all I got, really, I think, interior wise. So I'm about to wrap this up here pretty soon. I'm gonna pop the hood here, kind of show you the engine and stuff. But for the most part, you know, this vehicle is about $60,000. All right, and it's not luxury. It's I would say semi-luxury. And there's other vehicles in this class that, as I've been seeing through other reviews, that actually, you know, seem more luxurious, if you will. Softer touches, things like that. We ultimately went with this vehicle because we know Toyotas. We have a RAV4 Hybrid Limited, and the size, the looks, the size, the technology, the features, everything, like the pound for pound, everything put together for the price for us was right. Okay, I wish it was less money, of course, but you know, things are expensive these days. So the bottom line is, it meets our needs for a family. I got rid of a car payment by trading in my GLE, and that's a good feeling. So, you know, overall, I would say ride quality, let me touch on that. So ride quality, very nice. In fact, in some ways it's better than the GLE. I remember driving over bumps and stuff, and you feel like you're in a boat being, you know, rocked over waves and stuff in that GLE sometimes. This handles them very well. Now, if you're on a rough road, it is a little bit louder for sure in this vehicle than, of course, the Benz. The Benz is a tank. So, but overall, ride quality is very nice. The lane keeping assist is one of my favorite things. It's actually handles better than the Benz does for keeping you in that lane. Basically, it's almost like autopilot. You know, you just got to kind of keep your hand on the steering wheel every few seconds. But I love that feature. It handles the curves really well. There's a ton of safety features with this. Again, I'm not going to get into all that. You know, you can go anywhere and find all that information. I want to give you some stuff that is going to be, you know, maybe not in these other videos. So let me pop this hood open. I just want to show you one thing real quick, and then I'm going to wrap it up. All right, so I got this hood open now, and I'm not going to go over all this stuff. All right, you're going to have to find that somewhere else if you want to know like what all this engine components and stuff mean. All right, the only thing I want to show you, it's annoying to me, all right, is that a $60,000 vehicle does not have like hydraulics for the hood to open up. It's got this little, you know, old school thing, you know, lift the engine, lift the hood up, and then prop it up with this. You know, I feel like, you know, they could have done it so when you do that and you lift it, it just comes up automatically. You don't have to mess around with a, you know, a little hood stand. So other than that, I mean, it looks pretty, I guess, right? It's the Hybrid Max engine. And so there you have it. I know it wasn't the most comprehensive review, but I did want to kind of go over a few things that I thought you might not find in other videos. All right. For the most part, again, our family loves it. We've been on a couple road trips already, short road trips, but road trips nonetheless. And it's serving our family well. You know, we got plenty of space. We're very comfortable. The mileage is pretty good, and there's nothing really major to complain about except for the fuel capacity thing. That is annoying, and we're going to see where that goes. So stay tuned if you want to find out what happened. Did I get stranded? How far did I go? And then when I fill it, how many gallons am I going to get?